There is a very strange island on Earth. Not only is there no land within 2,000 kilometers, but even along its shores stand giant stone statues of magical elements. And there are countless underground chambers in the depths below. This is the world's most mysterious island, Easter Island. And what secrets does it hide? Originally, Easter Island was called Rapa Nui. It's a remote island of volcanic rock in the eastern South Pacific. Due to the fact that the island was formed by 3 volcanoes in the shape of a triangle, like a navel, it was also known as the Navel of the Earth. Then on April 5, 1722, Easter Day, the Dutch navigator Jacob Rofen first discovered this island, so he named it Easter Island after the date of discovery. As the ships approached the island, Rolfing was surprised to find that they were not greeted by the owner of the island on the far shore, but by a row of gigantic, bizarre stone statues. When they landed on the island, they found these strange statues with red stone heads and solemn expressions, standing on altars made of cobblestones and basalt slabs. Each statue had a different mysterious pattern on its hip, and look into the island with deep eyes, as if the island was designed to house these statues. So who built these statues, and what was the purpose of building them? Later, archaeologists have since studied the remains and hypothesized that the first people to arrive on the island were Polynesians. Around the 11th century, due to fleeing from war, they decided to explore the uncharted waters of the Pacific in their ships. After discovering Easter Island, they lived here in isolation. Due to its location in the depths of the Pacific Ocean, the island remained undiscovered for centuries. Not only did they divide up their land, but they became tribes. In honor of their ancestors, they began to build huge stone statues. As the island's population grew, so did the number of statues, and building them became a competition. Each tribe tried to crush the others with bigger and better statues. At the same time, archaeologists found many small pieces of white coral at the bottom of the altar. It's speculated that early Polynesians first set these pieces of coral into the eye sockets of the statues. Then they formed the pupils of the eyes of the statues with red slag from the volcanic rocks. They believed that this would bring back the blessings of their ancestors. The original color of these statues was also very colorful. It was only after centuries of weathering that they became so dull. And archaeologists have found a large number of unfinished stone statues on the slopes near the Easter Island volcano, due to the softness of the volcanic rock. So they used hard tools to excavate, and surprisingly found that these heads were all connected to a complete body and buried deep in the ground. And the statues themselves were very tall, up to 10 meters tall, and weighing about 80 tons. So how were such huge statues transported? At first, most people agreed that the Polynesians fixed the statues to wooden sledges, and then pulled it by rolling logs. It wasn't until the discovery of a ship's log that the truth emerged. When explorers forced the islanders to transport the statues to their ships in order to loot them, they were able to witness how these Easter Island gods actually walked. But the question is why Easter Island is so bleak today, with all its fallen and damaged statues. And where have all the islanders gone? According to historical records, after the coordinates of Easter Island were revealed in 1722, thousands of islanders were kidnapped by foreign invaders and used as slaves. Only a dozen or so returned with the dreaded smallpox, and eventually decimated the island's society. But archaeologists studying through sediments and massive amounts of rat remains have found that even if Easter Island had never been discovered, its inhabitants might not have escaped destruction due to the dense palm forests that dotted early Easter Island. When the Polynesians arrived on the island, they cut down large tracts of trees to make room for the statues, and the rats they brought with them, due to the lack of predators, began to multiply. The rats ate the seeds of the palm trees and prevented the trees from growing, causing irreversible soil erosion on Easter Island, which would eventually turn into a terrible famine. The mystery of the origin of the so-called stone statues on Easter Island is in fact the epitome of a brutal colonization. Although the island's native inhabitants have long since disappeared, these statues still stand neatly on the shores of Easter Island, as if waiting for their people to return.